So I just wanted to talk about a couple dreams that I had. Um, Time is blurry, so I'm trying to think. It could have been about a month ago, 2, 3, 4 weeks ago, or a little bit more. I don't know. I'm just now getting around to it, but everything in divine timing. So I just wanted to share a couple of elements from the dream because it included my twin flame, and I hadn't been feeling him for quite some time. The dreams stopped. My dreams kind of died down a little, period, and that can happen uh, when you use cannabis therapy, because I was like going through a lot of like rashes, all just feeling like death, but I felt worse. So I was using that instead of taking 5 different things for anti-inflammatory and being able to sleep and eat, blah blah blah. So, because there's no lethal dose, people who are against cannabis, just go do your research. But so the first one was it was kind of evening, but not totally dark. Kind of like the time of evening you would go on a date or have, go out to dinner or something, like, the sun had set, but it wasn't pitch dark. So around this time of year, it'd probably be like, 8-ish in the evening. So you could still see everything pretty clearly, but the sun was down. So, and he had like, kind of sort of felt like an outdoor, like open area, kind of like what a drive-in movie theater would be like, and the car was like open, like a convertible would be, but it was like big and old-fashioned, and because the door seemed really long and big and heavy, it was like an old-fashioned, it wasn't a new car. So he like opened the door and just like stood there and like made that gesture of like, come into my life, but it was represented by a car, so, but it was like that gesture of like opening this big wide door. So it was like a big wide, big, deep, heavy opening. Okay. And his hand, as like when you present someone on stage, you kind of do that thing with your hand. So, and it was only telepathic communication. Well, that's all there really is. But sometimes you will see like someone sitting talking and their mouth is moving or something, so it's a little bit more physical. But this was telepathic, and he just kind of did that and didn't say anything. There wasn't any actual even telepathic words. It was more of just an energetic body language, body communication, and energetic communication, not even telepathic. There were no words. So, but that's the feeling I got from the visual, okay, and just the energy of it, and the time of evening where it's like you're very calm, you're not asleep, but you're starting to wind down, and I was a little bit perturbed when I woke up, because I was like, oh, he thinks he's just gonna waltz in and be like, hey, here I am, voila, or something, like, hop into my car, baby, or what, whatever. But that's a 3D response. But it was because he didn't say anything, so I think that's why it was a little bit like, oh, he just comes to me and then you don't have anything to say, like an itemized apology or anything, really? Not one item on your list of how you're going to apologize to me. But, that's the 3D response, of course. But so that was blocking me from understanding what the dream was. So maybe that's why it took so long to share it, so I could fully digest it. And there was, I wanted to get some readings out and stuff. So, excuse me. So it was kind of like a gesture of like, the divine masculine wants his feminine to enter his life, and not just like a, in a like, let's be on this journey together, because it was a car, but because it was old fashioned, it was like maybe, so it goes beyond this lifetime, and all the way back. And it was also a big offering, because it was big, heavy, wide, like big rectangle of a door, so, and it was a big, because it was a convertible, so it was just big, wide open, but deep, heavy, and meaningful, and history to it, and all that kind of element, as far as like the energy of this offering represented by the different features of the car and stuff. So then I think that's a good thing. And I was perturbed at first because when you feel done wrong, you want someone to be like, get down on their knees, and you get down on your knees and apologize, for what you've done, and ask God for forgiveness, because that's some shitty shit. That wasn't right. But but then we start to just accept and realize we have to do this. They have to bring up everything that we need to purge, and we do that for them. So there's things that I did and said, and ways I acted that I didn't even know why. And so he's dealing with that stuff, because that brought up stuff for him that he has to purge. And it's sometimes like the angels, your cosmic family's working through you, or you already wrote it that way, or however. So sometimes it's like you do things and say things, and them too, that you don't even realize that, like, why did I say that? I don't even know why I said that. But we already wrote it to do that, to push that person, to trigger that person, to bring that up, to purge it and heal it, because we want to be whole and new. So okay, so the second dream, and I can't remember if it was the next day after, or a couple days after. They were pretty close together, so, and I haven't had much since then, and it was a while. But so I started really feeling him, like, sexually, and I think that's because the divine masculine has been thinking about his feminine a lot, and really getting to the point where he can't stand it anymore, even though he knows spiritually he's not quite there yet. But like, as far as his desire for her, he can't take it anymore. Like, he's reached the limit with that. But he knows he can't really go anywhere with that, unless the divine feminine allows him to. But me and my twin have no contact, and if he were to contact me, none of that's going down. We're doing everything the right way. I'm not backsliding. I'm not. I want to go like full bore quantum leaps and shit. So I'm trying to just do everything God's guiding me to do. I just keep saying, God, my will is yours. Let your will be done, because my will is your will. And because we co-wrote this whole thing together. So, and who loves you more than the one that created you, right? Unless they created you to control you, but is God down here, like, I don't know, raping you every day or something? No. He created you because he just wanted you to be free and love and proliferate. That word came to me the other day, and I was just like, yeah, God wants us to just be proliferous. Just like all the animals and plants, just be fruitful, multiply, love. That's what love does. Love wants to live and grow, multiply. And if we lived in a natural world, we'd be able to sustain that. But that's a whole nother. I'm not going to get off into politics and all that stuff right now. But so the next dream, was this same kind of like time of evening, okay, when you're like after dinner and you're having a glass of wine or something that's like nice, mellow, you're winding down, but you're still kind of like, it's a very high vibing kind of, it's kind of like that 4 o'clock in the, between like 2 and 5 in the morning, what they call the witching hour or whatever, but it's just, a lot of times spiritual people will wake up at that time because a lot of the low vibrational energies have kind of went to sleep a little bit, and so we kind of have Gaia and the cosmos to ourselves to do our like good energy work and stuff. So because a lot of it's just free open channels, and same with everything, like electricity, everything kind of dies down, so it's like you get charged less for electricity, the internet's more open and all that stuff. So the same with energy and people who are, spiritual energy workers, light workers, whatever. So, excuse me, it was the same time of the evening. We were like sitting down, and I might have been, well, at least sitting up in a chair, standing up, and he was sitting on the ground, and I was just observing, basically, and so I was looking at him, so his lips were actually moving, so in the dream, it was representing a physical, tangible conversation, and one of my best friends was there, and my friend Eden, who's just healing from cancer, and so we both have matching hairdos right now, but anyway, so he was talking to her, and just, like, really engaging, and so when I woke up from that dream, and I didn't really see her, it's like she was kind of sitting next to me, and he was sitting, opposing us, and sitting on the, down on the, like, the concrete on the ground. We were outside, and it was beautiful, beautiful energy, and he was engaging with someone very close to me who I love very much, who I care very deeply about, who I've known for like 20, so anyway, she's just like my sister. It's just like I have 2 sisters, and you know who you are if you're watching this, Eden and, the other one. So, and my dad, that's my brother. So, and my soul family out here, you know who you are. So there's the twin flame family, the twin flame family. I say twin flame flambe because this shit burns you up. Twin flame flambe. So what I got from that when I woke up, I felt good from that one. I was like, wow, he really, and then because it was after the other dream, so God will kind of do that, like build the dream up, make sure that's how I know it's from God, because it's very clear, gives you one element to focus on. It's very focused, rational, mathematical. God is the most sensible, rational, logical thing there is. So, people want to take God out of science and math. It's like God created all that. God is the divine design, intelligent design from which that all comes. So we get it, but. So the overall feeling that I got about the divine masculine, or as far as, the ones that are like in my, what they call wave or whatever. Excuse me. My throat's been like tickly, and like I've had to clear it a lot lately and stuff. And they haven't even been spraying that much. I mean, they have been, but. So. The divine masculine, and it's funny because he kind of, my twin kind of used to do this thing to kind of make me feel excluded. I think that was a big trigger of mine, feeling left out, because I've had those elements in my family, like, because like my dad kind of raised my brother, and they were close, and then my sisters were both kind of more raised by my mom, and they were close, and so I was kind of on my own. And even though my brother was in foster care too, only us 2 were, but he just had a more, like, I don't know, I always just felt like the odd man out. I don't know, God was using me for whatever, I don't know. I love them all. My dad's pretty much the only one I can talk to, but, I love them all, and they're all there for a reason. And just like all of us, everyone. So, yeah, he used to do these little, and whatever. I'm not judging it. It was just all part of the path. I'm just saying what happened. One thing that he did do in the relationship, and I probably did it back to him too. When he would do it, I would feel hurt, and so I'd probably do, I try to think of myself as being consciously aware, but there's those triggers that come up, and so sometimes that can happen. And so yeah, I'd feel like he wouldn't make me a part of his life, share his life with me, include me in anything he was doing with his friends or anything. And so I kept him separate from my wife. Then I'm like, okay, I guess that's how we got to do it then. But it got to the point where my feelings were too overwhelming, and so I'm like, we can't do this like casual, like friends with benefits thing anymore. So I got to cut you loose, and but you can't when it's twin flame. You can't. But I don't contact him anymore. I don't even get on his Facebook page to look at his picture. I mean, I saved that picture in my photos, but I don't go look at it. It's on my other computer. I don't have it on this one, and I'm hardly on this is my laptop. This is the one I use for most everything. So, and that's just in case anything ever happens to him. I have, I'm not really like that with pictures, like sentimental and like that kind of a thing. But as far as like tuning in energetically, using it as a tool or something, whatever. Just as a man, whatever, That's the only picture I have of him. So, when you start getting older and you start losing people, you start thinking about, maybe I should have a record, some pictures of my child. I should print out some of these pictures from the computer, just in case anything happens to it. But, so, the Divine Feminine, if any of you have gone through that, and I'm sure you have, if you're a twin flame, but specifically that's one of my issues that I've been triggered with through my twin, and it's been a hard one to heal, but the more and more you feel one with yourself and all that is, and God, Source, Creator, that starts to dissolve itself, and you release it to God, and it takes care of itself, because, just believe me, do that. It works. Try it. You'll see. But you have to have the belief and the trust. And you have to go forth with faith, or else it won't work for you. So if you've ever felt excluded from your divine masculine, as far as him, even like referring to you as his girlfriend or anything with his friends, or including you in anything, and ever taking you out on a date, whatever. Just that's one big trigger that I had, and so the messages, for those twins that have been dealing with that issue, is that the divine masculine is now, right when I said now, it was 1818 on the timer. And it's currently 11:05, March 31st. Friday, March 31st, 2017. 11 is twin flame number, and 5 represents my twin in particular, because he was born at 5:55 a.m. 1988, 5:55. So 8s and 5s. Life path number 7, same as my son. The Leo energy that they have, their name's the same. All of our names the same. It's just, oh God. I've got to make another video of just like the journey and all the synchronicities all in one, because I've just shared it as it's come in. So at this point, maybe I should make one cohesive one. But all the dreams, that's too much to put all in one. But the synchronicities, I can probably, the most amazing ones anyway. Got the book, the PG&E passcode, his name, I mean, it's crazy. Anyway, so the divine masculine, like I said, for you twins dealing with this issue in particular, he's saying that he really wants you to be a part of his life, and or he did that because he so much wanted to be a part of your life. I know it sounds weird and twisted and backwards, but the only way he could show you that he wanted you to be a part of his life was to make you desire it by, like, teasing you with it, dangling it, and, making you, like, lust after it and desire it, if that makes sense. Like the 3D game that we play with, with our looks, with, getting all dolled up with, so that's just another way of expressing that same energy of, calling someone to you, having someone being drawn to you. How do you do that? Well, by aligning with your own authenticity, of course. So when we're going from ego and vanity and all, so we're going to attract that energy. Or we're going to bring out that energy in the people that are already around us. So, because we all want to, the thing is since we're all one, we all want to be vibrating at the same energy. So that's why if you have too many people vibrating, that's why you want your tribe. If you're low vibe, you want misery loves company, right? So if you're high vibe, you want to be around high vibe people. You don't want people bringing you down, because we want to resonate at the same frequency, because we want to feel that oneness, because we're always trying to be there at that homeostasis, that oneness with self, with all, so that's why it causes so much conflict, right? So, the Divine Masculine is saying to you, Divine Feminine, that they are ready to bring you into, like, really bring you into their life, like, all or nothing kind of thing. Now, that's in the 5D. Now, how it plays out in the 3D, but the messages that I'm getting, that I kind of was getting from the tarot readings and stuff, it was like, they're really desiring the feminine, but because they can't have her physically, this natural progression is happening to where now they're starting to miss her, maybe her laugh and sense of humor, or how creative she is, how good of a mother she is, how, maybe it annoyed him that, my twin, maybe it annoyed him that I have a son. But now maybe he's looking back and he's thinking, wow, she's a really great mom. She'd be a really good mom if we ever had kids, or whatever, That this kind of a thing is happening in the mind of the Divine Masculine, because he can't have her sexually. Either that did happen, like that happened for, some twins, but then they realize, okay, you have the sex, you did the thing, whether you do it or not, the Divine Masculine is now, like, it's like he's kind of being cut off, but not in a cold way, just like in a, like, when it's time for the bird to leave the nest, and it's like, I love you, I'd keep you here forever, I love you, child, daughter, son, but, you got to grow up, you got to go to school, you got to get a job, or whatever, you got to have your own life and your own family, you can't just live with your parents forever. You gotta, or at least experience what it's like to, or maybe that's just our own culture, but I feel like it's important to just, whether it's traveling or whatever, just having that freedom of independence and sovereignty and autonomy, and so, but it's important to make sure your family's taken care of. A lot of people in America, they put their aging parents in homes, and if my parents didn't have someone to take care of them, I'd make sure that they had someone. So, but they do, and they're good. So, And I have Jesus. No, I'm so blessed to have the people to love in my life that I do have. So I'm very fortunate and grateful for that. And all of your guys' love and good energy and good vibes and just radiating that, period. Not to me specifically, just doing God's work. I love that. I appreciate that. I'm so grateful for that. All my sisters and brothers out there doing God's work. So yeah, he's really feeling the wanting to integrate in the 3D in a very deep way, because like that car in my dream and like him talking to my friend, it's like he wants the full circle connection. He wants all the facets filled. He doesn't, because maybe he had her sexually, then you got to move on from there, whether you have it or not. You still have to move on from there and keep moving and growing. So that this natural progression is taking place to where, like I said, he's starting to desire her in a multifaceted way and starting to look at all these different things about her. Now his desire is like amplifying and expanding and expressing itself. It's like that spirit's being brought down into form. He's bringing spirit into form with his thoughts right now, currently. Maybe not manifesting them in a tangible way, but it's still measurable because it's thought, it's energy, it's okay. So, and that's where it all starts anyway. Speaking it into existence, thinking it and feeling it into existence. Okay, that all happens before we tangibly make things with our hands. So that's the work that I feel like he's doing, and we're just holding space for our masculine. We're just, and things may come up where you may obsess over someone for a week or two, or you get really tempted to go on a date, or you're just like, F this twin flame journey. And but I think when those come up, they're going to be really short-lived, because it comes up now and then for me, like more so as like anxiety, but then I'll get through it a lot quicker and easier, and I won't have a panic attack, and I'm like this quickening and processing things more quickly. And so if it's happening with us, it's happening with them too. Theirs is more of like an expanding energy. As they've moved further and further away from it, and same with the divine feminine, we've seen the picture more and more clearly, and how it all interplays and interrelates, and the full picture, the whole puzzle, So they're starting to look at it in a multifaceted, multi-dimensional, multi-layered way, and how it all fits together. And just really desiring her. That's what I've really been feeling. And the thing is that what I'm trying to say with the sexual desire, I'm trying to be clear. I hope I'm being clear. It's like, it's kind of like if you've ever been sexual with your twin, or just anyone. Okay, so you have sex, and then what? And then you want to like clean the house, or you want to go to the park together, or you want to go to the beach, or do something, or let's do a project, whatever. It just a natural progression of how your relationship evolves. Like sex, okay, then that's done, and now what? And then, so that's where he's at. He's at the and then, where it's like, yes, of course I want her sexually, I desire her sexually, of course. So I mean, that's done and taken care of. He doesn't need to focus on that anymore. He's starting to focus, not that he doesn't, it's very pleasant for him to focus on that, but um, he's starting to see the value in the other aspects of his divine feminine, because it's like he's trying to see that in his environment with the feminine that are in his environment, and there might be bits and pieces here and there, but it's not satisfying enough. He can't find it all in one person like he does with his twin. So, and there might be a little bit of resentment that comes up, um, because a man really, they really want to feel desired. They love attention, to be pampered and desired. And we always think the divine feminine really, but we're kind of, maybe we're better at doing that for ourselves as far as self-care and stuff. So, and men really haven't been taught that that's okay. They've been taught that's a feminine thing to take baths and use exfoliants and all, whatever, incense, whatever, just things that smell good and make your house beautiful, flowers in a vase or what, so they've been taught that certain things are feminine and not, so they really need the divine feminine to help that emerge from them. By giving that to them, they see the value in it because of the feeling that they get from that nurturing. They learn to do that for themselves, and that's what the divine feminine does. She's the eternal nurturer. We're practicing nurturing ourselves through this healing by focusing on ourselves. We're getting back to that. Now that we can do that for ourselves, we're doing that. We're getting so good at that. It's like, oh, now it's overflowing and pouring over, and we're going to be able to do that more for our family. And they're going through ascension, and they're all fucking crazy and nuts, and they don't know what the hell's going on. So we've got to be that pillar for our family, for our close little, I'm not saying for every, but you got your close little knit, you got a couple family members that you're real close to, you got a couple soul family members out here on YouTube, you got a couple girlfriends or boyfriend, whatever, your close knit little, your tribe, your clan. So, yeah, he might be a little sexually frustrated because he desires you so much, that might bring up a little bit of resentment, like, oh, you holding out on me. That's a 3D response, but that's not what we're doing, and he's gonna process that really quickly. If that comes up for him, he's gonna realize that's no, because the team keeps pounding him with, remember how beautiful she was when she said this or did that for you, or remember, right? They're reminding him of the nourishment, okay, the nurturing that he got, beyond how the sex nurtured him, because that really opens a man up. A woman needs to be opened up, and then she wants to have sex. A man has to have sex, and then he feels opened up. That's just the way it seems to work. So, that's why a woman just wants to get up and clean the house after, and a man is just in total bliss and loves his life after he has sex. I don't know. It could be different for different people. I don't know, but I find that to be true. But so okay, we're at 33. All right, so we're gonna leave it at that, and I know I drifted off a little bit here and there, but I wanted to share some important things, and I hope it helped some of you guys. And I will be doing a reading for the next week for the Twin Flame, so maybe Saturday or Sunday, and it'll be for Monday, I guess that'll be the 3rd by then, for the next week after that. So, all right, I love you guys. Bless you all, and peace be upon you all.